At some point, I think this was at the demonstration that we did at my cousin's wedding, that then I walked into the other room and the memory was totally gone about what had just happened, which is usually why we have to document it in an extra special way. And then there's some form of video footage, however we work our star special stuff. And I think that there was something where we had, first of all, my betrothed, or someone like him, skinnier, but still tall, and whatever, grabs my arms and he goes, if I told you that I was from a different, what do you want to say, country, territory? I mean, like, what's acceptable nowadays in, like, wherever we are right now, in whatever dollhouse moment, DOLLHOUSE. And he says, if I say that I was a lethal weapon, what does that mean to you? I'm like, lethal weapon? I was like, you mean like black belt? Like martial arts? And he's like, right, that's what you always think. Right, okay, so you live in this territory, right? What do you call this? And I'm like, what, like USA? Like, you mean New York? Like Long Island? Suffolk? Like, which part? And he's like, right, okay, so, but the U.S. justice gets solved and centers around this landmass, and it's supposed to be protected because there's other governments and things that happen outside that don't run the way the safety net and procedures work here. And I'm like, all right. And he's like, if I told you that, oh no, then this was like a personal moment between him and I. And he was like, yeah, I don't like being dirty. He's like, he's like, if I told you that I always carry around a second set of clothes, I'm like, is that because like we never know when you're going to be able to come to find me or get me, or we get a moment together? And he's like, right, that is what you would think. Right. He's like, let's go with that for a moment, because I'm going to use that in the future. And I was like, okay. He's like, but if I said it, went back to something else I said at a different time, and it might mean something else differently then. I'm like, okay, so what's the problem? And he's like, right, yeah, you're fitted. It's like a built-for relationship. Like, you don't talk, you don't care, you just want to love me, and whatever I do for a living, whatever. Right, yeah, see, it's like a match made in heaven. So why do the, like, things in New York give us such a problem? I don't know. But if you live overseas, right, I'm like a work release, like a data transfer, DATATRANSFER, like work release, WORKREALSE. So, like, are they holding you hostage, or are they making you fight for my freedom elsewhere outside of the United States, based on how the Justice Department in the corrupt United States of America is doing because of all the foreign espionage and all the fucking corporate fucking Play-Doh games that they're doing all over the place, like inside and out? Why the fuck do you and I have to worry about any of them? And why are we fighting for any of them? Just kill them all. Who needs humans? We have other genetic species we could be. I don't really need this. And I mean, they're not advanced enough to, like, for me to give a fuck about saving any of them. I mean, they did this to themselves, playing with our fucking entire life. So I'm just curious. Who needs who? We're the advanced species. We happen to know things. And we're the ones who are trying to keep you all safe, but yet you keep stealing from us and all we want to do is have sex. I want to sit on his cock and come like a crazy woman all day, all night, all the time. And then we'll do some work whenever. But yet you think like America and like other countries, we have to work for you in order to have the relationship that we were born for, when we're the embodiment of time itself. And as that star royal body order, we don't work for anybody but the two of us, and the rest of you can die in massive quantities should we not get our way or have to wait at all. So now where did we get confused and lose a few rationales along the way in mental fucking cases that nobody cares? There's a song called Blue Chanterelle. Now, chanterelle, is that a confungi? Like Confungi, like a mushroom? Is that like a blue mushroom? So is that like the one that you eat and it's like cyanide? Cyanide? Yeah, that works in massive quantities. And nobody gives a shit land, since they've wasted our entire time here, stretched the truth, stretched time into dangerous directions for things that they're not allowed to know about. Not now, not ever. So now, how do I get my relationship back, since the dinner theater of Romer and Tia Frio, being 1976 and 1975 in that order, I never asked for, and at Dan Spalina and Linda Marie Gunder 1980's wedding in the 2000s at some point, was before I met Tia Frio 1975, and before my fourth son, Anthony Tia Frio III, 2012 came, where the work release and the data transfer and the star reporting came through. My love of my life came to the wedding to retrieve me, and there were family members and other nobody gives a shit that attended the wedding that forced some other hand, and my lethal weapon and cockpit, for which I was born and designed for and are very happy with. Plus, Judy defended my entire childhood, as did others in whatever quiet places they gave their life for, including Jerome J. Galucio, with his triplets that he miraculously had with Michelle, who lived in East Wilston Park before he died of diabetes, or so I heard. So now I'm just curious, who is it that God has to wait on? Because humans is not a good enough answer.